Okay, I don't have your graph with me, but I just made a graph from the average score on the x-axis and your graph on the Word file. If I go to the Word file, I can't hover over and see these data points. So if I want to actually see what the point values are, I need this graph. So I'm trying to fit this particular quadratic, y equals ax x squared plus bx plus c, to this data. So I'm going to choose 3 judicious points. And if I have the Excel file, I can just hover over a data point and it will tell me the data points x coordinate and y coordinate. So step 1 is to choose 3 points. And you have to choose them judiciously. So the first point was 68.435 and y was 136.800. So that's my point 1. My point 2, I'm going to choose it. So I'm going to choose it somewhere here. What I would like you to do is I don't want you to choose the points I did. I would like you to do the same thing with 3 different points so that I'm not doing your work for you. But I just hover over and I see this. And then the last point, I would choose something over here. So I get 71.26 and 27.014. So I have 3 like that. Step 2, plug in these points into your equation. I'm going to call this equation here 1. Like that. So up we go. We get y, the first y value from point 1 is 1368000 is equal to a, instead of x, I'm going to put 68.435 squared plus, don't square it out, don't bother, like that, plus c. Point 2, if I do it, I get the y value is 119,700. That's equal to a times 69.423. Don't bother squaring it because you're going to make a computer do everything else. 69.423 plus c. And the last point plugged in gives me 27014 is equal to a times 71.26 squared plus b times 71.26 plus c. Now, the way you would, oh, you can't see any of my screen. The way you would, so I'm just, we didn't have Julia telling me, I can't see your screen. But the way you would do this, like here's the 3 points I chose from hovering over the graph, plug them in to that equation. So I get these 3 equations. So the way you manually do this now is you would take the first equation, solve it for C, plug what you got into the second equation that has A's and B's, solve the second equation for B, plug that into the third equation, and you only have A's and you can solve for it. That's a lot of work. So I'm just going to open up my browser and then Google, and I'm going to plug my equations in that I just generated, and I have it sitting in front of me on my paper. This is why I said don't bother multiplying anything out, because I'm just going to have the computer do all the math for me. And just hit enter. And it should give me an answer, and it'll give me the work too. Oh, why did it have C here? Why it's it? I just want the answer. It gave it to me. So my A is 425261.085. My B is minus 59874643. I don't care if it's ugly. 0.25, and then C is equal to 2107366343. Then I have to plot that, and so I would just go to Desmos. Actually, let's try this. Let's do this. It might be easier to do this. Because Desmos will have a screen that gave me a huge mess. It didn't like it. I don't know. You know, Wolfram Alpha, it can plot for you. It gave me a hot mess here. I'm just looking for a cheap way to do this. There we go. There's a Python code going. There it is. And I would do my best. Like I would just pick some points off of here and plot them on your graph that's printed out like Julia said, and it should be easy. So, you know, you can change the A, B, and C. I think you'll do it really fast. I did it pretty slow because I wrote every step out. Here's my steps again, so you can look at it and pause the video. But it should take you maybe 5 minutes to get the whole thing done. ChatGPT did a pretty good job of plotting that for me. So like, for example, I would just take 0, it looks like it's around 2, 75, it looks like it's here. So just take a few points and just plot them. And by the way, this is not 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 10 to the 9 places. So it's 400,000. So this is 400,000. This is 300,000. This is 200,000. This is 100,000. So that's what you're actually seeing. And it's a pretty nice graph.